Welcome, 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 welcome. It is a mind of valor, and my co-host Don Juan. Wednesday, March 16th, 2015. You are tuned into Out the Box. You are tuned into, and I am grateful that you've chosen to spend this time with us. And we're going to have a conversation. For tonight, we decided to go through a couple of current events and just give some feedback, I guess, as a way to give you an introduction to our politics or what our leanings might be, though we do and can be objective as journalists. Therefore, welcome. I'm glad you joined us. It's a little bit after 9. It was our intent to go live at 9, so us being live now means we are on schedule. And some of the things that we've been seeing and hearing in the media here lately, Don.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting. Um, to say the least. I mean, it's been interesting and entertaining.
Entertaining?
Big laughs. I mean, for instance, like if you go to the certain websites of these different type of alphabet organizations, you know,
But for context for our listeners who may not understand the terminology, alphabet organizations, what might those be?
LAPD, NYPD, CIA, FBI. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, these organizations, these people, these groups, you know, they carry themselves with a certain type of um, what's the word I'm looking for? Secrecy. And you know, specifically, it's really, really entertaining right now to see how all of the dirt and all of the things that are happening right now, and how they kind of just simply sit back and act like. Because I mean, growing up, these were the most powerful organizations in the world. I mean, they make movies where they take down whole entire criminal organizations, right? But now these criminal organizations are running amok, doing all this crazy stuff, and these people are just sitting back.
It has been
So it's entertaining, very
entertaining to say the least. In certain instances, quite terrifying. Um, for instance, that what was the matter that we that came across our desk the other day? The young man who's been imprisoned in another country, who was illegally deported.
Oh yeah, by Trump, by the Trump administration.
Yes, what was that young man's name?
Um, I want to say like Walter Guillermo or something like that. I forget his name, and please forgive me. I don't want to slander the man's name, and you know, just prayers to his family because I can only imagine the horror of being just snatched up and just having it happen to you. It's very scary, but a lot of this stuff is psyop. A lot of this stuff is set up and orchestrated to breed fear into the public and people. So
Fear is used as a strategy in every war scenario.
I mean, think about this shit. Think about this shit, dog. These motherfuckers, hello. We just snatched the black ass up off the goddamn street. Then we're gonna put our fossil vessel leader of El Salvador to say, and we ain't sending them back either.
The cosign, at least I thought to myself, if that is the case, then imagine what level of oppression his own citizens are living under,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is the conditions that they've had to experience every day that doesn't make its way out of the media?
You never had like fruit?
Abrego Garcia.
Abrego Garcia, yeah. Shouts out to Abrego Garcia and his family. You ever had fruit from El Salvador?
Fruit from El Salvador?
I mean, fruit from El Salvador is good as fuck, man.
Well, to be honest, I couldn't tell you a specific fruit that I know that's specific to El
Bananas.
Salvador. Bananas?
Mhm.
Which species of banana in particular?
Yeah.
Well, not species. Which kind of banana?
I can break it down for you.
Break it down.
You got your first of all, you got your number one, your Chiquita banana. Then you got your, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. I don't know your genius, but
I do love bananas though. Make a great rice bread. I'm not sure where the rice bread originated from, but I have
Banana
a great recipe. Banana pudding is alright, a little soft, a little mushy, but this
my auntie makes a good banana pudding. Do that change your life?
no, but think about it. If we are out here illegally deporting citizens and people illegally, what is to say that black folks won't be next to get rounded up, or Native Americans, or different Asiatic groups? It's more a trend within the party of politics, the political Republican Party. Like, they're demonstrating as a party with their ideology to what lengths they're willing to bend freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
To what lengths they're willing to excuse crime, to what ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're really saying they're the party of a free for all, and danger in that.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me explain something. Like, once you've released something, it's really difficult to rein it back in. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
If it's done once, there's precedent, and they keep mounting exponential precedent, tipping the scales in the wrong way.
What about you do?
Yeah.
We got boys to raise. You got 2 boys, I got 3.
What are their ages?
I was 16, 8-year-old, and 7-year-old boys. 15, 5-year-old girl. The thing I'm saying is this. As raising boys and as we, take on the responsibility of, as men, rearing these boys to the proper age and manhood and with the ideology that, they need to have to, be successful fathers and, efficient, husbands to women and so forth, right?
Good citizens.
Well, how do you feel if your son loved Donald Trump, thinks Donald Trump is the man, thinks Donald Trump is an amazing person, thinks Donald Trump has a lot to offer? What do you say to that?
Well, it would help.
Like, Trump's my boy, daddy.
It more helps me to learn about what my son's ideologies are. Like, I'm trying to figure out why. Like, at the root of it, there's a why. And even if it comes down to the root of it being he just likes the attention that comes from saying it, and it's not really what he believes, but it gets people riled up. I get that. It's youthful, so, youthfulness, and rebelliousness. But that's what I'm trying to get to. At the end of the day, I said, okay, I'm gonna learn a little bit more about my son, and then figure out, and also help me figure out who in his circle or his sphere of influence he could have possibly learned the ideology from. Because sometimes we think it came from outside of the house, but it can also often be a certain way that we leaned on our kids, that just caused them to go to an extreme of another ideology, and then push the boundaries to another sphere. It's not always somebody from outside. It's our aggressiveness or our passivity.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially in the aspect of like, like how if you know you want to raise them not to be passive, but at the same time you don't want them to be so hyper aggressive that they're not able to be effective masculine men. I think that toxic masculinity versus effective masculinity is two big things that I'm saying we as a nation of people we can really work on towards like how we exercise that and how we show up for um, not only ourselves as men, but as I'm saying, like you said, the people in the society, because we want to raise good men and to be good citizens, and specifically be productive people in the society that they live in, right? I mean, that's to me would be the whole purpose of being a husband, having a wife, or even producing children. I rarely hear a person say that they don't want, I mean, that they want their child to be evil, to be a bank robber, to be a murderer, to be a rapist. Nobody has a child and says these things or creates life to produce them to, hurt people in a negative limelight. So as we take a full effect and reigns of not only our children's lives, I'm saying, our boys, but, I'm saying, the mother of our children, maybe whether they be your baby mama, whether they be your wife, being able to take full effect and full reigns over ourselves first and controlling our lives to the extent to where we can be effective for the people that are around us. Because I think that if we're not taking care of ourselves, that's what leads us to be toxic. That's what leads us to be the inefficient.
Because we're just spewing out what's in our bodies, and we're not healthy.
No, I'll go even on an even deeper level, brother. Where it's almost like the little engine that can't. You're supposed to take go up the hill. You're carrying this load. Don't hook up to a load you can't carry up the hill, baby. And see, that's what we're doing as men. We're taking on all of this load and taking on this responsibility, specifically dead weight. A lot of times we get in these dead weight situations and we're trying to pull and we're like wondering why we're not getting to go forward, why we're not moving forward, why we're not able
Can't
to
be carrying dead weight.
access the areas. Well, I mean, to be able to access the areas of life that we want to go in and hit the levels that we want to be, right? I mean, it's funny how like
The thing is, as men,
you
we don't know we're in it till we're in it, and we're in it. You often don't know we're in it till we're in it deep. You feel me? Like we don't know we're in it too deep until our shoes are wet or the water's at our waist.
well, that's I think one of the amazing things about being a man is because like you get to it's like that fearlessness that like oh shit, I need to swim across here. I don't know if no alligators, snakes, lions. I don't know what's in this water, but I know I got to get across this motherfucker. Okay, let's go. I got my spear, I got my gun, I got my whip, I got my raft. Let's get it. And guess what? You might come across a chupacabra, snake, to dwell, whatever in that water. But guess what? As a man,
Swimming with a knife in your hand.
it's just your job to get across that water, right?
Survival. Masculinity is survival. That is like survival of the species, being able to protect those within our influence, our grasp, our reach, our territory, our hearts, praying for people.
Why did God give masculinity the task of protection?
Well, if we go from a
And women protect too, but in a different degree. But men, specifically with the physical protection, we're naturally stronger.
if we look at it from a biblical perspective, I guess I would say God in God's infinite wisdom making something in in God's infinite wisdom, right? Replica of himself. See, when I'm trying to use gender neutral language, just for the purposes of this example, but it's so leaning. Our language is leaning towards the masculine. I guess at least in the English languages, it feels like, but a replica of itself and a supreme protector, omnipotent, omnipresent. You know, he created that. Therefore, that is why.
Well, let's ask you this question: is God a woman or a man, or both of them?
God gotta be both, because God is all things. Our language isn't capable of fully capturing God,
The essence
the
of
essence
God.
of God, the presence of God, the majesty of God, the glory of God,
I would agree with that.
benevolence. Like our language does a disservice to God. It's a shame we have this language to describe God and God's infinite wisdom and possibility. But this is what we have, so we use it. Like the God that I am connecting to, right? Transcends language, transcends words, it's meditation, it's prayer, it's frequency. It's breath. If you master your breath, you can master your communication with God and mind.
I disagree. I think that God is numbers. I think that God has given
What is a number? Define number.
a number is a dimension of existence, a sheer physical dimension of existence. That's what a number is. I mean, you literally. That's why you only have 9 numbers.
You know why I say God is breath? Because it may
Okay.
God
isn't breath. I'm gonna tell you why God isn't
no
breath.
what I said was
Do
initially
babies breathe in their mother?
the breath.
Do babies breathe in their mother's womb?
Yes,
No, they don't.
they breathe.
They don't take their first breath until they're born.
They're still using oxygen.
No, they're not.
What do you think flows through them?
Blood,
What's in the blood?
oxygen.
They're just getting it through by a different means, by a different avenue.
More specifically, when you're saying the breath.
As I said originally, breathing is how we master the communication with God, like meditation, prayer.
I agree.
Oh, so you
200%.
Okay.
I agree 200%. But I will say that God is deeper than just breath. I would say that God has.
But remember, I prefaced by
numbers.
Saying we're subordinated to the language that we have, and the language is not sufficient to capture God. So me even saying breath is not sufficient to capture the glory of God in essence. You know what I mean? So we need all that essence to take on this current administration and take our country back. Because if we let this thing go out of whack, it's going to be a catastrophe. It's going to take 100 years to fix this country. And I'm trying to go back to Africa. I just don't want to leave it a mess before I go.
This guy right here.
I'm just saying, I want to at least be able to come back.
It's a lot worse in Africa than it is here. Buddy.
I don't know. It's Africa's next level. And then on top of that, in certain places in Africa where it's underdeveloped, I joke that in America, when everything goes to hell and it finally collapses and there's turmoil in the street and the rah rah rah, all that stuff, people will be devastated because they would lose the access to certain networks, and they would lose electricity, and they would lose all this stuff. And I'm saying people in these rural communities, they already growing their own food. They already have sufficient systems of communication and sending messages. And they don't lanterns and coal pots and all these different other things. And so it's just like,
I ain't gonna lie, I would like to go to Africa and give me a few African baby mamas. Create me a few African baby mamas.
Don't be an American coming over there dropping off your seed. Keep that in America.
No, I need to plant my seed in African soil. That's what I need. I need this American farmer needs some African soil.
You got enough foreigners coming over there.
No. Just teasing. This is all jokes. Like all jokes aside, I think that it's important to understand that if we're not going to value and cherish ourselves, then we will never be able to fully raise our vibration to the level that is happy for us. A lot of women, believe it or not, are happy and content
with a low vibration, man.
With who they with who they are. You know what I'm saying? I look at it from a perspective of like us as men. Like, for instance, a woman will let you know and tell you what she expects from you.
You need some plants.
But in a sense and in a way of like, I don't really think like verbally communication. They expect you to pick up on it and read between the lines, right? And if you don't read between the lines, what happens is that she feels, or I think, loses interest in you. I don't know everything.
But let me
finish that.
No, this is an important caveat.
Okay, go ahead.
What if you not operating in your supreme masculine meant that your radar or antenna or your perception of the situation, your intuition was off? Because your divine masculine wasn't operating at its maximum. It was not fully calibrated to her feminine. So there was a misalignment in the harmonic frequency that would have connected. You know what I'm saying? So that could have very well been something that added to it.
Well, I mean, I think that's something that, once again, you're 200% correct. It's like, as we're able to relate to each other on stronger levels, better levels, and have, and build stronger families, better, stronger, longer, more healthier. I think that's key critical to understand is the metaphysical aspects and specifically the astronomical effects of relationship building. Specifically how you couple and incouple yourself, with people in situations.
Don't have sex.
So, you can say don't have sex, but I'm going to be all honest with you. Sex can be used as a drug. Exactly. It can be abused as well. And I think that that's something that kind of is kind of the part of the problem in our society is so over, I mean, they overrate sex. Well, let me rephrase that. They underrate sex. They underrate sex, and I mean, you would think that sexualizing things like showing off boobies and gyrating boobies, big muscular abs, big dick prints, and big old pussy prints, and all that shit's just big old butt cheeks, and
that's wild.
It's sexy, right? It's provocative, right? But really, what it is doing is that it's undermining sexuality. I'm gonna tell you why I feel this way. Because when you look at the purpose for sex, you look at procreation. I mean, the number one reason for sex is to procreate.
Yeah.
Every animal, every race, every species and beings with a masculine and feminine connotation to each other has and engages in some type of sexual intercourse to reproduce life. Unless you're like one of those asexual beings, like a starfish or like a, scarab beetle type stuff. But anyway, the point I'm making is we can even talk about that, but the point I'm making is as we build ourselves up, as we take care of ourselves, as we make sure that we're together and that we're in the proper places that we need to be, that's going to make it that much more easier to have the relationship that we want with the women that we choose to have relationships with, whether it be multiple women, whether it be, because a lot of times we're not able to handle the responsibilities. And I ain't gonna lie, one of my favorite artists, man, B.O.B., shouts out to Bob, Bobby Ray Biden's. He put in one of his flows, man. He's like, on his Space Time album, I think. And it says, how you gonna be a two type of nigga if you don't know what to do with one? Ooh, how you gonna be a two woman type of nigga if you don't know what to do with one? I was like, Bob, you better stop it. Hey.
That's a bar.
So I was thinking, like, damn, like a lot of us be out here trying to like, holler at females and really talk to these females when really honestly we need to just be like, hey, how you doing, ma'am, and keep it moving. I don't care even if she's like, oh, I think you fine, you cute, thank you, ma'am, I appreciate the compliment, be as respectful as, but bro, keep it pushing. If you ain't got, a $300,000-$400,000 in the bank, you don't own your property, you ain't in your career running your business. And my thing is not $300,000-$400,000 in the bank for every man isn't hard to do. I think that, that's what we need to do as men is we need to start allowing ourselves to come together from a financial standpoint of how we are going to make money and how we're going to be able to effectively dominate our women through financial stability. Our women shouldn't be feeling like they are equal when it comes to being able to financially compete with us. Like, baby, you can make as much money as me, but baby, you're not going to outwork me when it comes to how much money I make and how I put this money together to be able to effectively take care of you. And I think that that's what we have forgot as men. It's okay. Women deserve to make this,
provide and to nurture.
Well, I mean, think about it. That's what women want. When they go out to eat, who they expect to pick up the bill? When they want to get their hair and nails done, who they want to pay for that? When they want, or if they ever need you to, because women make their own money, they can pay their own bills. But guess what? If they're not
rather spend your money.
Point I'm making. That's all I'm saying. Like, we naturally know that women want to do this. So guess what? I literally, like, baby, I need you to understand, baby. You make $150,000, right? Okay, baby. Daddy make $450,000. So guess what? I have a whole salary what you make just to give to you.
But what about?
And I have double what I give to you because of what I make. That's the mentality that boss men like myself have, and that's why I'm able to.
We gotta detach.
Did you hear this? Dictate livelihoods. I dictate livelihoods. You know what I'm saying? I pay bills, and that's why your baby mama don't want me with you because guess what? She got Big Donnie D coming through, sliding this motherfucking J Holiday NyQuil, put you to bed, dick in her.
Well. That is that is the toxic masculinity we gotta detach.
Ain't nothing toxic about it.
Yeah, because if you gotta be supreme masculine even without
ain't what your bitch say.
Even without any capital in the bank. Masculinity starts before.
These hoes don't think it's toxic.
All of that.
These hoes don't think it's toxic. No, I'm just no, seriously, all jokes aside, man. This has been a great episode. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know what I'm saying? Out of the box, you know what I'm saying? My name is Don Julio, no Fulio, always Coolio. And your boy.
Man, a mind of valor.
Yes, your man, a mind of valor, So, and this is your man. I don't know if I said your man, Don Julio, you know what I'm saying? or I said your boy, but I meant to say your man Don Julio, because we men around here doing big boss things. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning into the live, and I'm saying, until next time,
discussing a couple of politics, local issues, and just giving you a little feedback on what's going on in your neck of the woods.
So we holler back. Peace.
Out the box.